Today, October 1, is the memorial of Saint Therese of the Child Jesus, Virgin and Doctor of the Church. Saint Therese of Lisieux was a French Catholic who became a Carmelite nun at an early age. She died in obscurity at the age of 24. However, after her death, her autobiography, The Story of the Soul, was published and became the best-seller around the world. Her books explained her spiritual path of love and selflessness, and she became one of the only 3 females to be considered a doctor of the Catholic Church. Saint Therese was born in 1873, and she died in 1897. From an early age, it was Therese's ambition and desire to be a saint. She was born into a pious and loving Catholic family. She remembers the idyll of her early childhood, spending time with her parents and 5 sisters in the unspoiled French countryside. However, this early childhood idyll was broken by the early death of her mother from breast cancer. Only 4 years old, she felt the pain of separation and instinctively turned to the Virgin Mary for comfort and reassurance. The next couple of years of Saint Therese's life was a period of inner turmoil. She was unhappy at school, where her natural precociousness and piety made other school children jealous. Eventually, her father agreed for Therese to return home and be taught by her elder sister Celine. She enjoyed being taught at home. However, after a while, her eldest sister decided to leave home and enter the local Carmel convent at Lisieux. This made Therese feel like she had lost her second mother. Shortly afterwards, Therese experienced a painful illness in which she suffered delusions. The doctors were at loss as to the cause. For 3 weeks, she suffered from a high fever. Eventually, Therese felt completely healed after her sister placed a statue of the Virgin Mary at the foot of the bed. Therese felt her health and mental state return to normal very quickly. Soon after, on Christmas Eve of 1884, she recounts having a remarkable conversation of spirit. She says she lost her inclination to please herself with her own desires. Instead, she felt a burning desire to pray for the souls of others and forget herself. She says that on this day, she lost her childhood immaturity and felt a very strong calling to enter the convent at the unprecedented early age of 15. Therese was drawn to pray for sinners. Although her father tried to keep newspapers out of the house, she became aware of the notorious, unrepentant killer Henry Pranzini, who was due to be executed in 1887. Therese prayed for his last-minute conversion. He was able to read in the newspaper of his last-minute grab for a crucifix as she approached the scaffold. He kissed the wounds of Jesus 3 times before being guillotined. Therese's audience with the Pope. Initially, the church authorities refused to allow a girl who was so young to enter holy orders. They advised her to come back when she was 21 and grown up. However, Therese's mind was made up. She couldn't bear to wait. She felt God was calling her to enter the cloistered life. Therese was so determined, she traveled to the Vatican to personally petition the Pope. Breaking protocol, she spoke to the Pope asking for permission to enter the convent. Slightly taken aback, Pope Leo XIII replied, "Well, my child, do what the superiors decide." Soon after, her heart's desire was fulfilled, and she was able to join her two sisters in the Carmelite convent of Lisieux. Convent life was not without its hardships. It was cold, and accommodation was basic. Not all sisters warmed to this 15-year-old girl. At times she became the subject of gossip, and one of her superiors took a very harsh attitude to this young, spoiled middle-class girl. However, Therese sought always to respond to criticism and gossip with an attitude of love. No matter what others said, Therese responded by denying her sense of ego. Eventually, the nun who had criticized Therese so much said, "Why do you always smile at me? Why are you always so kind, even when I treat you badly?" This was the little way which Therese sought to follow. Her philosophy was that what was important was not doing great works, but doing little things with the power of love. She believed that if we can maintain the right attitude, then nothing shall remain that can't be accomplished. Therese had the ambition to become a missionary and travel to Africa or China. However, ill health curtailed these plans, and she was forced to stay in the convent. Towards the end of her life, when she was increasingly bedridden, Therese was encouraged by the elder nuns to write down her way of spiritual practice. She wrote 3 books that explained her little way and included her personal spiritual autobiography, The Story of the Soul. Saint Therese died tragically at the age of 24 from tuberculosis. However, after her death, the writings became avidly read first by other nuns, and then by the wider Catholic community. Although initially intended only for a small audience, the books have frequently been published. In 1997, Saint Therese was declared one of the only 3 female doctors of the Church. Thus, after her death, she was able to achieve her intuitive feeling that she would be able to do something great and help save souls. Therese was canonized by Pope Pius XI on May 17, 1925, only 26 years after her death.